Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rollquests.
Yay!
Greetings and smiley-tations. By the way, some
Smiley-tations.
sniper's got a bloody bead on.
Yes, he has. Oh, it's gone. It's because back is. It's off your glasses, it is.
Yeah, I know.
Right, so yet again, there's just a 4. Just a fabulous 4. Bree cannot make it again this week, but Lumi is still with the group. At the moment, we'll have Lumi, I think, was left at the inn while you went and chatted with, or buying your slaves. The slaves are still in the slave pens. You haven't brought them back with you. You have got a period of grace whereby they will keep them for you, yes. And then you all wandered back to the inn yourselves, I do believe. Can
we make sure that, I mean, you're on about the children, they're a bit malnourished and not so good, so make sure they're getting good food at least.
Yeah.
And the other one was the sick and injured. Just
medical care.
Yeah, Trace was going to actually see what he could do. In fact, I think we started doing that. We done last week.
Yes, you did. You basically
so they got some of the basic concussion hit support leaves that come everywhere that just will help your general health a little. That's all I could do with them.
Yeah, you've also given them a will to live, basically. They had lost the will to live. You'd offered them a home, and you've told them that basically they're going to be needed to look after the children and bring the children up in the future, which will give them... It's a dependency of a child that means that will force them to a certain degree to have to get up and do things every day. But for the next few...
I was going to say brother and sister looking after a brother and sister.
Yeah, but for the next few days, they're going to be just in the jails, though. Unless you ask them to be released, but then where are you going to keep them?
They're safer where they are at the moment.
Okay. Right, you get back to the inn, the Golden Tooth. All the other merchants, after successfully getting their various sales sorted, are now sorting out, transports and planning things, and basically going to bed. Although it's still in the afternoon, some of them will be just getting some sleep in, because some of them will probably be arranging to have a very long night, sorting out slaves and shipping and other crazy stuff. But up to you what you want to do. It's the afternoon. They did say that they will arrange to take you to Hagen.
Midday tomorrow, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we basically got whatever we want to do
for 24 hours.
Enchanting.
I don't think we should make too much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Describing symbols on staves.
Emrys has already done that. I've had a chat with Emrys. Yeah, he already has his staff covered in some funky-looking symbols. It's not a problem.
Cool. Do we have any items or anything that needs attuning to?
Yeah, happy to give a shot on a few of those.
You want to have another quick look?
Spend some time.
If we moved on, we know that the orb, should one of us take the high road, would be very useful in keeping our soul safe.
That's exactly what they're for.
So that would be most handy. The staff.
At the moment, the only person capable of using the black orb to do that would be Emrys. It would be possible if somebody has at least one rank in a tune for Emrys to show them. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend some time with Emrys showing you how to attune to something basic first before he could teach you.
Could I get the staff to hold the orb, Tony? I love it when his eyes do that.
I know what you want to do.
His mind went, ooh.
I know what you want to do. The answer to that really would be, I think, with Traith's assistance to manipulate the wood of the staff, maybe that would be possible. But under normal circumstances, no. Yeah. So Traith might be able to
would be most acceptable.
Talk to the wood.
Then
He talks to the trees. That's why they put him away.
Probably
Yes.
he'd have to give me access to his Galmore shaft, then, wouldn't he?
He would.
Ooh,
Talk to it.
This is just getting a
Suits
bit
you,
too much.
sir.
Yeah, too much here, I tell you.
a bit fit, Keith.
Do you want to take it up to your room privately so we don't do it in front of everybody else here?
I think it would be the safe way. I need a safe way up to a safe option.
And I shall stay downstairs with Riv, drinking
Drinking
and
beer.
planning.
And Riv could get worried.
That's fine.
Don't worry if you hear screams from upstairs, it'll only be Emrys.
I mean, yeah, I'm quite happy. I don't really need any rolls because time is not an issue. It's not as if you're trying to do something against the clock. With combat looming around the corner, you've basically got 24 hours to very calmly look at the Galmore shaft, see if you can tease apart the claw.
I mean, if you want a tune roll again,
Is he teasing the shaft? No more of that.
Tease apart the claw
Go
and
blind.
get it to basically regrip around the black orb. It'll take a little while, but we're talking maybe like an hour or two. It's not really going to be a.
It's currently
thing.
gripped around a crystal at the moment.
It is, yes.
So wouldn't it be easier to put to grow a second claw out to the side to grab the orb, rather than trying to grab
At the base.
It's you can't actually affect the staff. It's a magical sentient entity, basically, as far as you're concerned.
So
you can't.
We can't graft another piece onto it.
No, because you're actually then trying to. That would be the same as trying to get a tree end to grow an extra limb. You would actually have to overpower the living creature. But what you could do is, you could tease open the claw. And let it release the crystal, but then
no, I don't want to do that.
Then you'll lose the light ability, but then it can grab the orb.
Yeah, don't worry then. Don't worry. I was thinking of the base. I was to actually put it up. So there's a crystal at the top and an orb at the bottom.
You would have to make some kind of metal sort of sconce thing that you could screw into the base of the shaft.
Yeah, wouldn't it be better to actually have Trace grow a enclosed area of wood, so like roots holding onto a rock, but instead holding onto the orb, and then just have the roots go down the shaft rather than twine around the staff. Twine around it.
So you want
to be a bit more veiny.
So you basically want you want an orb at the bottom of the root of the shaft.
Obviously.
Right. So what you're saying is you want Trace to grow a separate vined clasp for this orb, but then get the living plant matter of this vine to wrap itself around your staff.
Just so the bottom area, so that it can be held there.
It would have to be enough vine around the staff to get a firm grip. You don't want it coming off, in battle if you block or something.
Exactly.
So
I tell you what, let's not
like
try
Ivy would actually.
Yeah.
Something like Ivy would actually put its roots into the actual staff.
It would find little bits of wood to cling on to.
Adhere to.
So it's not going to be an issue there.
Hang on, I've already started to make one of these.
So the answer to that is yes, that could be done, but that's a little bit more complicated because now
that's fine.
You're growing a separate plant.
I'll try and tune into the staff again, too.
Okay, but what was it you want to try and do with the staff?
Well, we've got the language. Is trying to make sure. Is it Draconic? I'm just trying to get more understanding into the procedure with the.
You're using
next stage.
You're using Draconic to do what?
No, I'm wondering what the next language is. Hang on, let me just get up the informazione.
Mm-hmm.
So he spent quite a while engraving his staff.
He has lots of runes that are now glowing on his staff. Yeah.
Oh no, they're quiet. They're not glowing yet.
Okay.
Is that what people do?
The non-glowing runes, then.
No, they don't glow and then fade, don't they, when they're used? Or glow.
He appears to be talking in riddles. Moving on.
Swiftly.
Are we allowed in to see them, our property at night?
At night. This is not the night. This is the afternoon.
No, during the day. Sorry, the afternoon. Sorry, during the afternoon.
Yes, of course.
Saunter in
Mm-hmm.
up to the orc cage.
Yeah, he's still manacled to the floor. Yeah.
Up to him. Riv, keep an eye out. See if anybody is actually listening to us.
You're the only people in there. They've got nothing else to watch, the guards.
Ah,
You are their only interest right now. So you'll have guards up on the above with crossbows watching you, and you'll actually have some guards that are in there standing next to you. I mean, they got nothing else to do, so they'll just be wandering over to have a look.
Okay, I'll actually say to the one guy then, the one that's... Have you spoke to him?
Huh? If I spoke to the orc?
Yeah, you speak Orcish?
No, he's an orc.
Ah, fair enough.
It's a very good
He's
point.
got nothing to say other than "Rah."
Right, this might get a bit violent. I might anger him for a bit, so keep
You're
on your
orc.
guard. Keep on your guard. He might get a bit angry, okay?
Well, if he breaks anything, then
He's my property, indeed.
yeah, you'll have to pay for it because he's yours now.
How much does a guard cost these days?
Don't let. Well, we're not going to let him out of the cell.
Just asking. For future reference, shall we say. And I laugh grimly.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, just asking for a friend, yeah. How much does a guard cost if we break it?
Well, they wouldn't tell us the price of a slave. You think they'll tell us the price of a guard?
True.
Depends how
Up
much
to
you
the-
break him, really.
Up to the orc.
Won't be able to walk again.
Right. Do you remember when before you were angry and thrashing and having a go at everybody? After I finish talking to you, I need you to be angry again.
Okay.
Good.
Rah!
Okay, yeah.
Rah!
Okay.
Rah, rah, rah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, feisty.
Was that okay?
Yeah, that's
Crazy Look,
We're gonna try and get you. We're gonna try and get you out, and at some point you're gonna get a weapon, or at least your hands on some guards. Who's it you want to take revenge on?
Well, all of them.
Good. Sorry, I put my hood back down. Sorry about that. Now, with luck, we should be able to get you free tomorrow, and we'll see about causing mayhem. Do you fancy some destruction and death?
Who's mayhem?
Mayhem is another word for destruction and death.
Oh, are they coming too? I like them.
Good. We will bring them, you and I.
Oh, yeah. Me and Mayhem will go make some death.
Yes. Mayhem is the girl that we've got with the lady that we got with us.
Cool.
Excellent. Now, we couldn't get your friends, or were they part of your clan?
Ooh.
The other two orcs.
Yeah, but I don't care. I want to follow Mayhem.
Right. Good. Well, I just want to make sure you're okay. Eat the food. Occasionally be angry. You
I
know,
haven't got any food. They don't feed me.
I'll get them to bring you food. What do you eat? Oh, actually, what do orcs eat?
Anything.
Anything that doesn't move fast enough.
Guards. Yeah.
Guards, yeah. Generally meat.
Okay.
Not the porridge slop that they push through the door.
I'm going to poke you now.
Huh?
I'm making it look good.
Huh?
And I poke him through the... Just,
He's not within arm's reach.
Oh, right, okay, that's fair enough. I won't then.
They
I
would
thought he might
not put him within arm's reach of the gate.
And he'll need guards.
Exactly. That's tempting too much for the orc to go mad.
Fair enough. In that case, I'll get you some food now, okay?
Meh.
Good. Stand back up. Riv,
Yeah.
see,
Right.
you're the one with the money.
Ah!
What? What?
I don't think I actually say this I say this like loud enough that the guards will say, yeah, I don't think he likes what I got planned for him. You got the money, haven't you, Riv?
Usually, yeah.
Good. How much does it cost to feed this? We'd like to get him like some food inside him, I say to a guard.
Well, we'll feed him for the next couple of days for free.
Good, because he says you haven't been feeding him.
Well, he doesn't eat much of what we give him, but we feed him.
Meat. Get him meat.
Oh, that'll probably cost extra.
How much extra?
Oh. How many days?
2 at the most.
Gold?
I was thinking more along the lines of 5 silver. We bought a kid for a gold.
Okay, 5 silver. Depends how much meat he wants.
Riv,
Perhaps you can cut one of the guards' arms off.
Yeah.
give the man some silver.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And fish out 5 silver. Hand it over.
Okay.
Big Leo, obviously.
He'll take 5 silver.
Yeah. And hopefully he'll actually spend 5 silver on getting him meat. Otherwise,
It's not his
Can I
5
work?
silver, so it's not. You won't really care. It all comes down to just how much meat he's going to get for 5 silver
well, at
compared to
least-
what the orc wants to eat. The orc will probably
least-
want half a cow.
yeah, the orc probably would do, yeah. But right,
Top or bottom?
Yeah,
left.
the legs. I don't know anything.
Keep your eyes open, Riv. And this is it. Such a vote. This is quietly now, I should say. Keep your eyes open. See if there's see if you spot a nice big weapon, like an axe or a halberd or like a big maul or something on our walk back.
2x4?
There's not really weapons laying around.
I don't know who said anything about laying. I'm talking about in the hands of someone if necessary.
I don't know if it's common practice, but weapons aren't normally left lying around.
I didn't mean lying around. I meant in people's hands, you muppet.
Not finished. I also don't think many of the weapons, these lot are going to have are going to be big enough for our fellow over here.
Oh, well, that's why I was thinking a halberd or a big axe or a felling. Hell, even a very large plank.
Why don't we just get him to use like one of the
I
bar
thought the orc was a very large plank.
It's getting that way.
or
Just-
door?
Yeah, something along those lines. We'll see what we can do. Let's head back. I mean, what do you want to do for the rest of the day?
Doors. All right.
The
not-
guards, by the way, they're usually equipped with daggers, short swords, scimitars, all light one-handed weapons. They got some cudgels and things. They don't have big stuff. They're not town guards with pikes or anything.
So hoping for something like that. But oh well, what do you want to do for the rest of the day? I think the two academics are going to be deep in their shafts and books. Was it me, or did you find that discussion they were having a bit too biological for my tastes?
I try not to listen, to be honest. They kind of go off on one, and I'd rather not try and understand what they're talking about, to be honest.
Good idea. Good, honest folk with good, honest weapons. Doing not very honest things is my idea of a good time.
Back in again. So, if everybody's got anything else they want to do, we can switch to the following day.
Gonna have to. There's nothing. I can't do anything to hide my armor, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's
fine.
probably safer not to show up in it.
Yeah, I think that's sensible.
The only thing that you notice then through that night is now that the slave purchases have finished, the other merchants do throw a little bit more of a party downstairs that evening. because their time is basically done. So they do actually have a few people from their ships they might have had in dock come in and celebrate a little bit before they obviously start thinking about loading up the following day. It's not so much you are or you are not invited, but you could, if you wish, just increase your general friendships or relations with some of these people if you wanted to, or you can just leave it as is. We don't need to role play it. You can just basically say you want to increase your relationship, or you're just going to leave it as standard.
Who is it? Who's the ones that are north of my tribe?
The House Viper, Xavians.
Yeah, they're the ones I'm going to talk to. I'm just going to have a general chat.
That's fine. That's the vampire ones.
Yeah.
I'll generally just mingle across like all of them. Might as well. Might
Yeah.
be handy.
You can tell that it seems to be a regular thing once the whole buying and selling is finished. Sometimes, or you can probably pick up, maybe there's a few other second deals going on where some people are potentially swapping some slaves they've purchased as an after event, but not much. It's basically done and dusted. Nobody wants what you've lot of bought that badly to approach you. They're quite happy to just carry on. Right, okay. The following day, you will be downstairs having your breakfast or your meals, whatever, and you will be approached by one of the waiters or etc. The inn staff knocks on your doors or approaches you at your tables and says that there is a party outside willing to take you to see Hagen now if you have the time, otherwise they'll switch to somebody else.
Are we ready, gentlemen?
Yep. I'm still taking a weapon, by the way. I can't go.
That's fine.
unarmed.
Yeah, that's fine. If
Not-
you're
not
the
taking my
bodyguard,
staff. Yeah.
everybody else's bodyguard would be armed and armored. It wouldn't be an issue.
Just to point out, I am taking the druid staff. Leave
Yep.
the bow behind.
That's fine. Emrys can take his staff. If Riv wants to take a crossbow,
And
that's not a
your-
problem. It's not a problem.
And the ring, and the orb, and the...
Yeah. And all the other goodies in the books.
Not
yeah.
the book. Not the book.
Oh, okay, no books. Okay.
The book's in the bag of books, so I've got it. But
Yeah, just not out in your hand. Waving at people's faces, going, look at this, doesn't this look like a dodgy skin? Yeah, okay. Okay, you head outside. There are a group of about 4 or 5 sailors there. They're not heavily armed. They're clearly part of Hagen's group. They're wearing his colours. They're just stood around. They look up when they see you come out. They say, "Oh, are you the group that needs to see Hagen over one of the slaves?" "Yeah, okay. Follow me."
yeah, my good men. Yes, lead on.
They will go out onto the wharf where there's a small rowboat. When I say a small, probably like a 12-person rowboat. They get in. They man some oars. They wait for you to clamber in. And they row out to the Willbreaker. The Willbreaker, as you approach, as I said, it's a large frigate of some kind. It is probably the only large ship in this part of the world left after the great cataclysms that happened. You can see that it has gun ports. It actually has cannon. That was something that was really at the furthest edges of technology from Calamore, really, back before, in the old days. So they've managed to keep those working, and they've salvaged from somewhere enough of them for themselves. They pull up alongside the frigate. There is a ladder that is thrown down, a rope ladder for you to climb up, and the people that rowed across will stay in the boat below you. And if it looks like you're not that easy to climb ladders, they will offer you some assistance by kind of like, holding your feet as you try and get yourself up on the rope ladder.
Are we going to need to make a roll for this?
No. It's just, you can tell that they're used to
I don't
some
know about
people
that.
that don't really have sea legs
Oh,
or are in
no.
armor or whatever. And If you take it easy, if you're not rushing, you can obviously climb a ladder on the side of a boat. It's not an issue. Unless you wanted to, like, get up there super fast.
Especially moored on a reasonably calm day in a harbour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Riv could still fail it.
I mean, if you want to sort of
I
like
didn't
say,
think of that.
look at me and try and get up there as quick as possible, then you can, and you might fall flat on your back, but no. Okay.
Into the water.
You climb up onto the Willbreaker. She is a big old ship. Probably somewhere in the region you think of about 60 people to crew her properly with all the sail and rigging and things. So she's not massive, but she's a decent size. But as you get up there, on the deck in front of you, there is a gentleman in a chair, sat there quite merrily. He's not fancily dressed. He's actually quite scruffily dressed, but you do notice that he has a golden tooth. And standing by the side of this gentleman is a really tall, what you must assume is a high human, female. She is in plate mail, so not field plate, but plate with chainmail, you know, plate and greaves with chainmail underneath. And she doesn't have a helm on, and the whole right-hand side of her face is scarred really badly. You think by claw marks. She's standing there leaning on a two-handed sword that is out of whatever hold it has, and she is basically leaning point down into the deck, making nice little holes.
How old is the scarring?
Oh, you think it's really old. It's beyond the point of actually trying to use a herbal to fix it yet again without trying to rip off all of her face and regrow it, which would probably not be a good idea. So it's probably easier just to leave the scarring there. The gentleman
to do something about that later.
Sat down, looks at you, and just waves you forward. You notice there's like probably a good half a dozen or a dozen sort of like sailors around, but they're not on guard. They're not watching you. They don't really care that much about you. They're just trying to look busy. But the gentleman just waves you forward. He does.
Straight on up.
He doesn't get up. He still stays in his chair. So
it's where you run him through, Dave, when he's sat in his arse.
Yeah.
Take him there
quick.
If I brought my two-handed sword, yes.
Which group are you now? Which ones were you interested in, if you don't mind me asking? I did send for a particular group, but I'm not quite sure. Sometimes I don't get the group I'm expecting.
Apparently it was us. We were asked if we were ready, and we said we were. So hopefully it was ourselves you were waiting for.
I don't recognise any of you.
This is our first time here. I'm very pleased we've been. Run a very good establishment that seems to, cover all the bases. We do other things, but we wanted for our warehouse, we thought, you have a barman. He's a sort of a tallier, he seems to have quite a bit of experience in
bookkeeping.
Yeah, bookkeeping, etc. But obviously we're quite ignorant of these ways, but apparently he was unavailable, and the only way was to come and see your good self regarding the purchase of this individual prior to our leaving.
I tell you what,
give them all a giant presents I can.
How about I tell you a story?
I love a story. Can I sit down?
Oh, you are more than welcome to sit down. I mean,
pull up a chair.
There's no
Anything
chairs.
To drink?
There's no chairs. You could sit on a barrel. You could sit
on
on something
floor,
nearby. You could sit on the floor.
Whatever. Yeah. Kylo rope.
Said that. Let me tell you a story. He said. There's this lady called Delpha Main. I've been wanting to try and capture her for a while, but not really. I kind of like just put like fishing out there to try and see what she would do. Now, I was expecting Delpha to maybe try and disguise some of the riffraff in town to come and see me. I never would have thought that if she'd managed it, that she would be able to send me such a interesting and expert a load of adventurers. Not necessarily yourselves, I'm just telling you this is a story. Which was amazing because I actually really...
Is it a fantasy story?
It is a fantasy story.
Oh, good.
I actually was quite interested in the fact that, by the sounds of what my guards told me last night, there would be such a bunch of people around. Because I think maybe I could come to a deal, an arrangement with these adventurers. A little bit like, let's forget about what's happened. And you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Because, to be honest, I mean, this Gorgon main guy, I couldn't really care. He was involved in a little incident that is a bit more of a disjointment of my nose, a little bit of a somebody doing something that needs to be put in their place rather than cost me anything. It was kind of more of a, come on, you shouldn't be doing that. That's not the done thing. So I don't really care too much about Gorgamane.
A slap on the wrist.
I'm quite, happy to let him go, but I have been looking for some people that are brave. And if this Delford managed to get a hold of a bunch of adventurers that would be brave enough to come and stand in front of me, which is what I was hoping, then they might just have the mettle for what I have in mind. Now, should such adventurers be found and brave enough to stand in front of me,
practically speaking, you mean?
I need to tell you another story. A few weeks back, a group of my associates captured a very strange group of gentlemen traveling from the old Calamore area. This is nothing unusual. We always get people traveling from the old Calamore area. But they had with them a bunch of the barbarian tribes. And that was very strange. It's not something we usually see. So I had them all brought here. Most of them died, sadly, on the way. But one person in particular, who was definitely not of the barbarian tribes, he just kept going on and on at me about his mission was more important than slaves and I would be paid and all this sorts of stuff. So I tortured him, as you do, to try and get as much information out of this guy as possible. And he told me, well, in fact, eventually he confessed to the fact that a map that I found on the group, one of my maps, was actually the one that he was following. You see, I had an old shipping map that was pretty useful to me back in the day, and it had been stolen. I didn't care because it's only for the local waters. But when I found it on this gentleman, or on his group, it had an extra piece of writing and a marking on that ship, on that map that I didn't put there. So I tortured this gentleman for a while, trying to make sure that whatever he told me was true.
A running theme, I see.
Yeah, I do like a little bit of torture. And he said that there was something called the Black Star that had to be found from within inside a cave. But there would be so much other treasure that if I would set him free and allow him to go and retrieve this Black Star, that there would be more treasure than myself and my men would need for some time. Now, clearly, the gentleman didn't probably have a grasp on just how much treasure that would be for me to be happy for some time. That's a lot of treasure. So after I sold him, I sent some of my own personal men to go and investigate and bring back this Black Star, and more importantly, the treasure from the location that has been marked on his map. and they didn't return. And we sailed out there several times, waiting to see if they would rendezvous with any of the pickup points, and they never did. So, what I got thinking is, if I could find a brave group of people that had maybe a little bit more skill than my crewmen here, that they're okay for sailing, but when it comes down to actually putting their head together and thinking past just like stabbing it with a knife, if I could find a group of people that were a bit more canny and were willing to go and retrieve some of this treasure for me, then I'm pretty sure that anybody that I actually had in my various cells, yeah, they could have them. I don't really care for any of them. Now, if you wonderful people can go and find such a group and make a deal with them, then your request for having access to Gorga Main would be a done deal. I would guarantee the release of Gorga Main plus any others that you actually wished, even if they've already been sold if you were quick enough. If this group of adventurers would actually be willing to go and take a look and see if you can bring back some of this hoard that this gentleman talked about.
What a lovely story.
And would this group of adventurers be allowed to keep any of this hoard themselves?
I'll look at the hired hand over there.
It depends how big this hoard really is, doesn't it? I mean, if this hoard is 10 gold pieces, then
Ash?
it's hardly worth my time. But if this hoard is truly as large as this gentleman was saying, then if it's got to be enough to satisfy me and my men for some time, then I'm more than happy for them to have a little share in it as well.
Why didn't you get him to lead you there then?
Oh, I think after
remiss of you to
the state he was in after I finished with him, I don't think he would be going anywhere for some time. And anyway, I didn't think I'd need him. I had plenty of brave men who were willing to go and get it for me. But they didn't. And now he's gone, and I can't really get him back right now because I sold him. So
what was it? A black star?
He kept talking about some black star he wanted. I don't care about no black star, but when he says there's going to be lots of treasure.
But what? Surely he must have spoken under torture. What was this black star and why he wanted it?
He said he was
that line of questioning.
I mean, I'm quite happy to talk to the group of adventurers that maybe might want to help and disclose all that I know. If I could find a group of adventurers that would be willing to try and come back with some of this treasure. And you lot being merchants, I'm sure that if you go ahead into town and ask around, you could probably find this group of adventurers that Delpha Main looks like she's grabbed hold of.
I look to the others. I'm trying my character is not very good at subterfuge, but I do look to the others.
Wow, he's looking to the others. That's amazing in itself.
That's a start. That's got to be the first.
It can be taught.
I thought the old dog, I was kind of worried.
I'm currently wearing no armor.
It looks like it might be coming round.
That woman's got plate mail.
That worried me. I didn't realize you'd left the big pig sticker behind. I would not have agreed to that. I would have definitely said, you've still got to take it no matter what.
Hey, I'm
anyway, I digress.
I am with the pig sticker.
So, yeah, so in regards to this bookkeeper and innkeeper, can we just, does he get any part of this? Is that irrelevant? So I'm a bit confused by that.
Oh, no.
Lovely story.
Really don't care, but if Delpha Main has gone so far as to actually not get more than just a bunch of regular riffraff from her area and to try and get her father back, then clearly
Delpha Main is his daughter.
Then clearly I would want to give Gorga Main to the people that she's managed to get her hands on.
So she would be happy to purchase this man, would she?
She could try, but she would not have enough money because that's not enough of a slap on the wrist for what I think they've been up to. But if some other deal can be arranged, like going to get some of this treasure, then yeah, I'm more than happy to let bygones be bygones. I'm a businessman after all. This makes sense.
Who
So
else have you
the
got?
cut
In
to
your...
this at the moment is that we're not able to purchase this individual that we thought might be handy in the way we did.
No, as I explained in
that-
my
that's the
story,
deal. It's off.
as I explained in
deal is
my
off.
my story, if you can find this group of people that she's got her hands on, then you can make a deal with them. That's not a problem.
Who else do you have in your pens? Then is it just the ones that are on land?
Oh, it's just the ones that are there at the moment. I haven't got anybody else. Yeah. I mean, if you wanted me to try and find somebody for you, in particular, I sometimes we do take orders if there's some kind of thing that you fancy.
I'll turn to the others and say, well, interesting story. Kind of
I'm sort of like,
totally thrown us in a different direction, my colleagues. But again, this is a new venture we're doing with this slaving. What say you on this other option?
could we
In which
confer
we would
down
still
over
get the
here?
confirm?
I actually say to
Yeah, well, do
chap,
you mind?
do you
We're
mind if we
just going to
confer?
have a chat over here.
Go and take a nice little view up by my railings and look at the sea. It's a lovely sea up by the front.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll walk over to one side
Yeah, they'll let you go up there.
and get rid of all the cordiality.
You do realise he knows.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Not... Oh, good. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me who realised
Subtle
that.
people not being subtle.
And then
Followed
trying to
by-
explain.
Yeah.
They're like, it's like.
Wait. I know how we have to deal with this. What we must all
No,
do
you
is
don't.
put on
You're a
spectacles.
stick.
We
that
must all
can
put on
speak.
spectacles and come back and tell him we are an adventuring party. He will never see.
I thought you were going to.
Exactly.
I thought we were all going to put cloaks on.
No, oh, I have one.
Cloaks don't do disguises. You need spectacles. And a
Spectacles.
slightly altered gait. You need to become clumsier.
Yes. And a false nose if you've got it.
So, anyway,
What I'm saying is, I think he knows we are
We're-
at adventures, but I don't think he knows.
yes, Dave.
I
you
don't
do.
think he
You
knows
do.
that. We are the ones that broke his nose.
Do you think he knows that we know that
Oh,
he knows
yes,
that we know that he knows that we know that he
What I'm
knows?
saying,
Do you think?
you're not seeing my point.
So, I am.
He knows that we are adventurers, obviously, but I don't think he realizes we're the ones that bloody did knows.
I think he does actually.
You
I
think?
quite clearly think. Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. He knows exactly who we are, and he's just thought they've got a big pair of kahunas. Each of
Mine
them.
rattle.
Either that, or they're a little stupid.
Either way, he can make a
If
profit.
only he
from
knew.
it.
He's a businessman. And right now, there's money to be had.
I'm
If there's
intrigued to
money
find out what's
for-
in a cave. There might be a book or two in there.
Now, let's not
Hey,
veer from
don't ever diss the books. They teach
I'm
you a
not
great
dissing the
deal.
books. I heard gold and he had my attention.
I understood that. Treasure was a term, and do you know what? I thought your head lit up like a Belisha beacon.
I want to know why my clan.
They could see you from the shore.
I want to know why my clan were guarding somebody who had some knowledge about this Black Star.
I think there must be a connection, so
Of course, there
it's
is.
why I think we
What-
should go
What are
purely
the
to
names
see.
of the necklace and the bracelety thing that you and Lumi both were carrying?
Well, Bloomy's got both of them at the moment.
Yeah.
What were the names of them? I got them.
I'll have to go and pull them up at the moment.
Well, I thought if I mentioned them, they'd suddenly magically appear in the stream for the viewers to see.
Yes, I am actually going to put the Dawn Star and the Blue Star.
There you go.
In the
nice
chat, yeah.
names.
Dawn, blue,
Nice
and black.
names.
Okay, yeah. So,
My work here
Dawn,
is done for
Blue,
this
and
session. I'll
Black
go back to
Star.
work.
Yeah.
I'll put the Dawn Star in the chat now. In there.
Just another one of the stars. Do you think this is where they ended up? Because they
I
certainly got
will
out.
quietly ask Lumi
Mm-hmm.
what she thinks we should do regarding this black star. Is it the item that she thinks she was here to help recover?
She says that she was quested to bring the blue star to Acastiel. She was not aware of why Acastiel wanted the blue star. That was all that she was actually told to do. Acastiel was somebody that had clearly conversed with her mother, as such, some other means to persuade her to part with the blue star, which was something that her mother wore around her neck. So Acastiel clearly had a very great need to require it, and he was carrying the Dawn Star.
So Castiel was not a barbarian.
No, he was the guy that we were escorting down. And
I was a member of the Beach Boys for a minute.
My clan swore on their clan's life that they were going to deliver him. We've got to sort this out because my clan has sworn.
Shall we ask what happened to this individual? Who did he sell it to?
But that might give the game away.
That's just an inquiry. I think the game's well and truly
Yeah,
filed in his
I
cabinet behind us. I think giving the game away is not where we are.
Glance over my shoulder to see how big a smirk Hagen has on his face.
I think he's lost most of his head. If he actually opened his mouth and smiled, he'd be at his ears, wouldn't he?
He is
He'd
not
just have that half a head open.
He is not giving away anything on his face at all. His features. He's just quite happily sat there, staring out across into the town, admiring the view that he has from his ship.
Yeah,
The ship that we're on.
Yeah.
Well,
with
I for one am
With cannon.
very interested in finding the Black Star and this place, and ideally, the man who your clan
He's
were
being
to
sold.
meet Ash and
He's
find
been
out
sold.
what happened to your. And indeed, let us ask where. Who did he sell him to?
Yeah, that's the
They keep
track
it
down.
going. And more importantly, what happened to the rest of your clan that came?
They
here?
died in transit, or they died when they got here. Hagen said that in his opening.
He said some
statement of the
died. I'm
story.
not sure if it was who precisely. He was quite vague, though, wasn't it? It was one of those statements.
Well,
They died
well,
in
he's not gonna
transit.
tell us 'cause
Blah
we're not a
blah.
bunch of adventurers.
we are going to.
Well,
are
we
we going to
are.
admit that we're adventurous now, or are we going to go
We are.
abroad? And
So
come
I
back
think
to
the two, I think
pantomime?
our lead should be. We are
Come back
also
around
adventurers.
Another group of adventurers.
No.
No.
Oh no!
Before we
We
became
are the
merchants,
adventurers.
We were
Well,
adventurers.
this is
No,
we're
if he
adventurers.
Ex-adventurers turned merchants.
If he
We
knows,
were
happens
going
when you
to.
earn money?
We were just about to. I mean, we'd actually, if you think about it, gentlemen, this is actually where we were. This is our first venture. We said.
It genuinely is.
So we could quite seriously say, well, we were going to retire from adventure. This is the way I
we
think
made money.
We were going to get. We made a bit of money, and we were thinking, where do we go from here?
why are we
However,
speaking this
your
rhino crap?
offer is so intriguing. We quite fancy a last ditch.
If he knows, then why are we bothering with the subterfuge?
Because this is how it works.
Yeah.
That's rubbish.
Because he,
That's 'cause
though
you're
he
a
thinks he
barbarian.
knows, unless you actually say yeah, he
Well,
doesn't
yes,
really.
that's
know.
what I would do.
He's playing. Yeah, no, that's why you're not allowed to. Okay, we need to emphasize this point very seriously. Ash,
But
shut up. Okay, when you're going out about any of this, you're saying Nick Day speak. Okay,
that was
Okay.
terrible.
we need to find out where that.
Yeah, you don't know what language that was, but
It was terrible, whatever it was.
yeah.
So we're not allowed to admit, even though
I'm just trying to get to your level. Yeah, I mean, barbarianism.
Oh,
Oh, he's
Hey,
trying to
touche.
send to your
You
level.
love
That's what it
I
must be.
say. But
Right.
no, seriously, we will take it. We were about to retire. However, there's sometimes you get an offer you just can't refuse.
what I'm saying is
Hoard
that
of treasure.
he is
Hoard of treasure and the Black Star.
Hang on. he is trying to get the group of adventurers that Golgamain's daughter hired
Yeah,
We're
we
not-
just
But we're not
get us
admitting to
instead.
being that. We're not admitting to being that.
Why not?
We're just admitting to being a group of adventurers. Why don't admit when you don't have to admit? Okay, very very good rule here. Don't tell him
It's called
Porth call if you don't
Exactly.
have to tell him Porth call.
It's called a dance.
So
And we love to
at this
dance.
point, Truth will actually laugh out loud enough that they can hear whatever's going. You know, they can hear the laughter.
Okay.
There you go. And just pat Emrys
So-
on the side and just stare at Ash and Riv and shake his head.
You notice the first mate is looking your direction, but Hagen is just relaxed back in his chair.
Oh, but I bet he's itching. I bet he's stretching, going, ooh, ooh.
The first mate will be looking back at him and whispering something to him, and then looking back in your direction. So.
Yeah, I've got my
Okay.
back. I've got my back to them, so he
That's
can't
fine.
see my lips moving. So
She can't
just
see
trying
him
to-
moving. Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
not
exactly.
like. I do
If there's
not like this.
any lip reading shenanigans going on. That's not
That's
happening.
fine. Yeah. No
Actually,
worries.
say, I do not like this rhino crap. But let's get on with it.
Rhino crap. I've
Rhino
never
crap.
seen rhino crap, but I'm telling you, I agree with you. I don't like it.
No.
Even though I've never seen it, it's going to be large and smelly, and we should avoid rhino crap.
I
In fact,
have heard
kids,
that this
kids, don't step in rhino crap.
Say no
It's
to
not good
rhino
for you.
crap.
Say no to
Hey,
rhino.
stepping around with her.
not even
Right.
once.
So
Yes.
we are about to retire. We're not retiring. We're intrigued by it. Art. Who did you sell that guy to? We might need to question him. Yes, we'd
Yep.
like to take the offer up. Are we in on that?
Screw Gorgamane?
What now? Over the
No.
barrel?
No.
Or-
Screw
This is not-
Gorgamane. This sounds far more interesting.
No, because we get Gorgamine at the end.
No. We get Gorgamane. This is the thing. We get Gorgamane.
And the
We
elves.
get the girl.
Yeah,
we get
well,
the
we'd have to
cats,
rush.
the dogs.
No.
We get
the
small
elves.
pieces of fruit,
Ask-
glacé
ask for the
cherries
elves-
with little
ask for the elves
raspberry
as well.
smiley
Can
mouths,
I just
little dancing
Hang on.
bears.
Shh, shh.
Somebody's got some.
make the elves?
Yes, Riv.
Why do we care about the elves?
Because it puts the attention off Gorgamane and there's something that we couldn't possibly have bought beforehand.
Okay. Fair enough in that case.
But
But if
why
we
do
do
we
have to
care
get
about
the
the
elves,
elves?
What the hell are we going to do with them?
Let them free. That's why we're here, isn't it? Free the slaves. No.
Let us get on with this.
I
Stay on
just wandering
target.
around with a small.
Free the elves and not pay money for all that we've bought. Now.
Too late. We've already paid.
Oh, do you see Rib's face?
Oh, I
then?
missed what you said.
I said we will have all our money back for those we've purchased as a preamp for going on this journey. Okay?
Works for me.
Don't worry. I know where to hit you when his love button is. So, money back for what we've purchased.
So you're gonna go back there in front of Hagen now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there any other? Because there's mention of elves being freed and all sorts. Is this
the
some way you'd
idea-
like to pursue?
Well, it's just,
Because he's already lost a shed load of people gone to send him on this journey.
but the idea of this is that we're asking for more than we could have got as merchants in the first place.
Correct. Making it more worth our while. I agree,
Yeah.
Trace.
So
You
it's
are-
not we're just coming back in as a bunch of adventurers that are out of there, but we don't
We've
just
done
want
our
the human
bit.
that we can afford. We now want the elves that we couldn't have afforded before we did this.
And not to have to pay for anything, or
Correct.
to rather have our money returned before we leave for what we've purchased to agree to go on this quest, come adventure. Because after all, we've made our money. We were going to quit. But sometimes, quitting's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't tell me that. Tell him that.
We're going to. He's gone quiet.
He's gone mute.
No, I'm
No,
here.
right.
I was just bringing up the.
Emrys has gone
Emrys
mute.
went
Oh,
mute.
So don't forget, kids, don't be a quitter.
right.
We're just having a whole bunch of PSAs today.
We're going to do a
Okay.
whole He-Man skit at the end.
So you go back.
Panther stealth assault.
You're gonna go and stand in front of Hagen and say what? Who's speaking and what you're saying? You can all speak, but
Well, Ash is obviously going to have a word. Isn't he?
I'll have a word with you later,
Don't
mate. I
you-
tell you.
Thanks, mate. Yes, and I will reiterate what I just said.
so Hagen's first going to look and go, so you happen to be a group of adventurers, is what you're telling me? Isn't that lucky?
Well, we were.
Do
Lucky.
you know what? Sometimes, Hagen, fact is stranger than fiction.
Luck is a wonderful
were-
woman sometimes.
Oh, hi.
We were
Nice
going to
meet
give
you.
up the good life of the adventuring. We've made our money. We're happy.
It's
but
because of the scarring. isn't it?
Sometimes you
That's why
get
got the name.
given an opportunity that you just can't say no to. However, some caveats, because I'm sure I'm going to hear some of you shortly.
What's that got? What's
All
that
of
got to
it-
do with the little
All
fishy
of we
eggs?
have got all of which we have purchased, you will return our money for. My good friend Trace here, pointed to the druid, has a hankering for that rather pleasant-looking elf that was purchased by another.
Both of them.
And the other elf that he also was with her,
No,
or
no,
rather
no,
in the auction with her, I should say.
no. There were 4 elves, Emrys.
You're being greedy now. Okay.
I want the elf with the dark skin. I want the elf with the blue skin.
Okay. Blue skin, dark skin.
Mhm.
Hey, all lives matter.
Okay, Hagen says, he says, right. First of all, the dark-skinned elf and the blue-skinned elf are still, they're not for sale. They're under my ownership.
We know
I
they had their ribbon.
am quite happy to pass them on to you, should you succeed, without any further payment. Yeah? So I will release those to you. That's not a problem, because by the time that you come back, I would have finished any question I had, and I will make sure they're in good order, and they can be yours. As far as the lady elf, the one that's got the minimum charge on
Purchase
her,
value,
so I will tell those who have purchased her that they need to wait. They cannot have it straight away. If you return with treasures that I think are worthy, then yes, of course, I'll release it to you. Because the treasures you might bring back might not be gold. They might be in some other kind of form that I find valuable. I'll deem at the time whether or not what you've brought back is valuable. A bunch of like shells off the shore are clearly not going to be valuable. But if you've brought back some trinkets that I think would look nice on my boat or in my, my special cabin there, maybe a few gold goblets and some other bits and pieces, then yeah, I'm sure that I can arrange something. So,
What are your thoughts on books?
unless the book is on how to make lots of money quickly, I don't really care about books. You can keep,
Why have you got any books?
you can keep books. It's fine.
Do you happen to have any books? Yeah.
No, he said we can keep the books.
If you
like-
want
like-
to purchase some books off me as well, when you return, then I'm sure I can find some books to sell you.
Books to purchase?
No,
I can
down.
arrange to get some books if you really want some books in reward for your service. Then
No.
I can do that.
I would just ask you about
Dungeons,
the treasures. Just ask you about
monsters,
treasures.
giant snakes, and still, he's asking about books.
Books are
I
Yes.
will.
forever.
I will give you a period of time for you to prepare. I will explain where you're going to go. I will give you the map that this gentleman had, so that
Now,
you can decide what to do, and I can show you where you're
mentioning
going to
this-
go.
Mentioning this gentleman,
Yes.
where did you sell him? Who did you sell him to? Where
I
did you get him?
sold him to the Xavians. If you have a chat, have a chat with Selous, House Viper. He's one of the local merchants here. He negotiated the sale of him. He'll probably know exactly who he's ended up with.
But that just means you'll be lunch.
Well, I was thinking, Dave.
Oh, quite often they will
Ash.
eat people. They paid too much money for that person to eat. So no, I doubt they're
Hmm.
going to eat him.
Yeah.
I was thinking of cashing in our coin on that one, gentlemen.
He bought it. I also sold him a big, large barbarian guy as well. I think they're going to use him as some kind of trade with the barbarians that are south of their lands.
Ooh. Maybe one of yours, Ash. Hmm.
I'm not-
He just said that openly. Great. Okay, he just looks across.
Jeebus Crips, I don't look like a barbarian, you muppet.
It's just like
No,
every-
that conversation we were.
Eric.
Hang on, I don't even look slightly phased. I just
I
say,
know, that's fine.
no, the
He just
conversation
smiles and
you were
looks at
talking
Ash
about,
and looks back again.
just those conversation you were on about all the barbarians. But I thought you said they died.
Bring them out.
That was what you said. Excuse me. Didn't you say they'd all died before they got here? Apparently not. Is that the case?
I said a lot of that group had died. Correct.
Ah,
I have a
a lot
few
of
that I
that
was
group.
questioning. One in particular
Ah, I
who was
see.
pleading with me to let him get some kind of great value that the world needed to get the Black Star.
No, but he
rubbish.
was a barbarian, though. He was
No. There was a couple of barbarians that survived, as far as I remember, but we had one in particular that the
Are you-
Xaviers
are
were
you,
interested in.
Are you a follower of the stars, Captain?
I use them
Ship
to
captain.
navigate by, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he knows the
Have you-
stars intimately.
Gentlemen, if you mind. Do you keep close watch on the stars?
Yes, why?
Oh, perhaps you should look harder.
I think I know what you're referring to, but what do you know of such a matter?
I said nothing on the matter.
He gets stoned a
I
lot
just
and looks up
asked
at
if
the
you were a
sky.
follower of the stars.
If you're talking about the
We-
fact that some of them are getting faint and disappearing, I am fully aware. However, I do not quite know at the moment why or what to do about it.
What to do about the stars disappearing? What you could do about the stars disappearing?
Do you think this has something to do with this black star? The fact they're both called stars, do you think this could be a link? In which case, I'd be even more interested to have a quick look at this black star. I didn't
I
really
don't
care
think-
too much about it previously, but now you're intriguing me.
No, you think you sit perfectly upon the throne you sit upon, and all around you the lights are going out.
So I will pay you extra to bring back the black star.
Let's have a look
Yes,
at this map. Where is it? Is it at
but
sea?
where is the man I spoke to you of? We do need to speak to him.
I told you
It
I,
would be wise
I
if we
sold
did
him
so.
to the Xavians a few weeks
Well,
ago.
you are not. I'm sure you have a tremendous weight, far more than any of us have. in
You wish
gaining
me
that
to try
back.
and get him back.
I think it would be a wise choice. That's all I'm saying to you.
Let's
What
see
you do with this information, which, as you can tell,
Let's see what treasures you bring back.
I do not speak idly when I speak of what I speak. The
Let's
fact that you know what I say is the truth gives you some weight into my word. Let us hope your word is as good.
let's see what treasures you bring back.
Did you get the name of the man you tortured?
Icky something.
Icky something. Okay. It's a strange name, but it's human, so I'll go with it.
We've got it in our notes somewhere. In one of our ledgers, there'll be a reference to his name.
Let's have a look at this map.
And indeed, and let us have our. We will need the money, which we can use for expenses, for what we have purchased,
You
as I mentioned,
won't need any expense.
prior to going, not going. Rev, he's our accountant, and he's
You-
kind of funny.
you
about
won't
that
need
sort of
any
thing.
expenses.
He likes every dot and
Why
I
not?
corresponding.
There's nothing for you to spend
He
anything
likes
on.
to see them in his hand.
Fair enough.
I'll provide safe passage. I'll provide the drop off. I'll provide the pickup.
Fair enough.
Excuse me.
That's free of charge.
We'd rather. That's lovely. That is lovely. But as I said, our return of our funds prior to leaving was part of the deal.
No, as I said, I will not charge you for any of your current people, and you can have the extra elves, etc. But if you come back with seashells, then that's not really, you know.
There has to be a bit of give here. You're giving nothing until we return, having done everything. That isn't how business is.
How much money are we talking?
I've already given you more information than you have.
I think he is dancing a waltz, whereas Emrys is dancing a polka.
His first mate says something like, "Oh, I don't know, 60 gold or so, maybe around there somewhere." He says, "Look, okay," he says, "right, if you want some spending money, I don't even think there's anything in this town you could buy with 60 gold, but I'll give you 60 gold. If you leave town, I'll put a 600 gold bounty on your head."
Good luck with that.
Show us the map, for crikey's sake. I want to know where we're going.
He points first across the water. So if you look on the map, you can see, as the lawless land, you're currently there. He's pointing to there. Yeah. And then he places in front of you all the following.
Oh, yeah, it's loading. Oh.
He places that in front of you.
I love maps like that. Look! It's a treasure map, for fuck's sake.
He says this is one of his old shipping maps. And the thing that they'd written on there is this.
What, old tomb?
Yes, this is not what... that was not on his map.
No, because it's a shipping map.
Exactly.
Show the land.
Exactly.
Is that a vineyard? Is that a vineyard?
Added on. No, that's actually something that was on his map, because they actually do go here now and again. They land on that cove and they pick up some interesting fruits and herbs from this area back in the day.
Fruits and herbs. So we got Kenneth Williams and mint.
And that's actually where they used to get stuff, but they only bothered with the outside edges. They didn't ever go inside. But this person has come back with some kind of tomb marked on the map. So that's where they dropped off a group of sailors to go there and retrieve everything they could find.
Did you drop them off?
Where did they drop them off? Exactly.
I dropped them off in Turtle Shell Beach where they wanted to. So it was a nice, easy walk. They avoided the blood grass if they dropped off there, but they never came back. The blood grasses are long grasses. We know about those.
Could you
try and
here?
not go there? Could you drop off elsewhere? In that inlet cove, we could send a rowboat up there and drop you off at that inlet cove. Of course we could.
There would be less distance needed to travel.
That's fine.
And leave the rowboat waiting for us.
Not
how long this may take.
We will send a ship to circle this island, because the weathers are not good, especially on that one side. Twice a day, and you'll have to say where it is that you want the primary pickup point, so they can look for you, look for any signals, look for any fires, look for anything.
They're not going to be able to see the signal from there. We'd either have to go on to the Dead Man's Point or Turtle Shell Beach.
Or the Bluffs.
Dead Man's Point is one of the easiest places they can see a signal fire, in case you want to get picked up outside of their normal time, especially if you want to get picked up at night, because they're not going to see you at night.
I think...
a signal light will be sufficient.
I think we should go past that. If this is where we are looking at the old tomb, would it not perhaps be better and shorter is to go to the mounds off on this side?
It's right by a cliff and a set of hills.
No. To let them know by lighting here, because that's high and they could easily see this. But then have them pick us up at the smaller cove there.
Right, they couldn't pick you up on the right hand side, because that's not that far from the maelstroms. You get an awful lot of bad winds and stuff there. They could, but it'd have to be an emergency. Yeah, it would literally have to be sort of like, if that is your only choice as of a way out, they will go there, but they would prefer you to pick somewhere that's easier to get to, because that risks the ship sinking.
Dead Man's Point.
Right, so Dead Man's Point we liked, but if there's a problem,
you want to go by the mounds. Okay.
All right.
The only advice they say is, if you go to the mounds, do not go near the bluffs. Yeah, the Dreadwing bluffs.
Because
They're-
Dreadwings are there.
There's dreadwings there. They're large birds that are quite nasty.
Dreadful.
Yeah,
Horrible.
but
The cliffs of
I want-
insanity.
I want to go near Dreadwing.
I am the Tatatamaili king.
okay. So what they'll do, they'll send a ship twice a day to check
Rely.
on the dead man's point for a signal fire. They will check on the mounds for a signal fire, and then they will come back and then they'll redo that again twice a day. But if they can see a signal fire
Yeah.
further away because it's dark, if it's night, then obviously they'll head to that signal fire.
Okay.
Yes, if you see a
Fine.
signal fire at Dead Man's Point, you know to come
That's
to where
fine.
you dropped us off. We will try to keep to that.
Yeah.
But
They-
the mounts gives us an option.
Yeah, to stay out of the blood grasses.
We have no intention of going in the blood grasses.
No, he wants to go to the interesting herbs and fruits, doesn't he?
Yes, let us cut around the outside then, shall we, Trade?
The blood grasses
Go
are very tall
Round the
grasses.
outside.
What's
round
in
the
blood grasses?
outside.
There
round the outside.
there's two-legged lizard things that tend to hunt a lot in that area. We've met them before years ago. They're not
No.
nice.
2 leg.
Big pointy teeth. Big
Are we
They're-
playing with
They're not
velociraptors?
that tall, but they're only usually about 2 or 3 foot tall. But they usually come in packs, and they got claws.
40.
And sharp pointed teeth.
Yeah, Scottish, they're wee haggises.
When do you want us to go?
When can you go?
I looked at the others. I looked at
When's
the
the next tide?
We can actually get across there to drop you off at that little inlet. Anytime, really. That's not too bad. They prefer not to go into that wooded area in the dark.
How long did it take to get there?
The only trouble you've got is if they row up there, and if they're assailed at all from the forest either side, then there's not much protection in a rowboat, and you're going to be in a rowboat for quite some time. It's where if you landed like at the coast somewhere, then they could bring a ship alongside and just row out for a couple hundred meters.
Best you bring a full crew of rowers and
let's
some
get-
shields then,
let
haven't
us-
you, while
let us
we
get to
sit
Turtle Shell
quietly in the
Beach.
middle.
Let us sit to Turtle Shell Beach then, because I'd rather not have the boat shot out from underneath us.
No, I think we need to examine that there and have a quick conflab with my friends, yeah?
You can take
Away
you
from-
can take them
Away
out.
from these.
How long will it
Just a
take us to
second.
get there?
Now, all I want
Oh.
to say is you just come over and say, listen, if
Hour.
we want to find out if there's any in those woods.
There it is.
On the
It
side
bites
there.
over the side.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That island.
That island there, yeah. That
That's
one.
my island.
Do you have a telescope or a scrying lens?
Yes.
May I?
Yes, fine. He'll let you have his spyglass.
That's part of the deal.
Right.
Just
Pray
put
we
that
don't change
put
this
that in
deal
your
anymore.
I didn't
I
say
had-
I changed the deal.
I hand
It's
I
a very
hand,
nice looking spyglass.
It's a
I had
long
the
list.
spyglass to
Long
Emrys.
list. Thank you.
have a
I
look.
I go to look at the stars and go, no.
It's the daytime, so that wouldn't be so good. So yeah, okay.
One.
Yeah, one big star. You really don't be looking for that for a spyglass.
Oh, not with the telescope.
Hasn't gone out yet.
Very painful experience.
Yes. So you look
Blinded by
across.
the light.
You can see what you can see there, basically, but in more obviously definition and detail. The forests are quite thick.
Are these deciduous trees? The leaves fall off? Oaks? Elms?
They're
Like that?
actually.
Or they
It's a mixed forest.
jungle?
It's a little bit of a mixed, but it is actually heavily deciduous, but
Good.
it is quite thick
There are
deciduous.
Right,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, well, if nothing's there except for wild animals, then...
Yeah.
So the deer would keep it down. No, seriously, I would definitely prefer that they'd locked us here so that we could, if we're going in a fully manned skiff, because I don't want to be there in a rowboat. That's not what we're after. We ain't doing no
Well,
rowing.
yeah.
No,
You're gonna
no,
have
they're not.
sailors.
They're going to row us.
No,
to
they
there.
would
Yeah,
row
that's
you
in-
there
yeah.
in a
So,
big 12 manner.
A proper 12-oared boat, 6 aside, with room in the middle for there. If he wants to put a scattergun on the front, because they've obviously got cannon, put a scattergun on the front, on the back, sides, whatever. the old small.
You don't want to walk, do you?
No, I want to know what's in those woods.
They will be willing to
If we're
go
going to come
up
back that
there
way, I need
with
to know.
with a 12-man boat, because that's all they could basically row. That's all they've got without building new stuff.
No,
They
no,
could
don't
stick
try,
some
that's
extra
fine.
people on with some crossbows if that's what you wish.
We're more looking for
But they're
cover
just
rather
saying
than- than
your
crossbows.
journey up that thing obviously is exposed on both sides from covered forest. That's all they're saying is, should they come under attack,
Make sure
then
you've got some reasonable barding on the side of the boat with which we can defend. Get defense. 'cause
You're
what's
not
gonna
really
attack
getting this, are you?
they're probably just going to row faster or tell you to get out quicker as they land on a shore wherever they can.
Once we
Or
don't
they'll
mind
row
that.
back.
That's fine. Then have a word with your captain about the problem of your cowardice.
Just
Tell
get us
about it.
dumped on the flipping beach, for crikey's sake.
There is a beach by
No,
that corner,
too far.
yes.
Yeah.
far.
It's fine.
Too far. I need
No,
to
it's
know
fine.
what's down that list. Okay?
Why?
I
Doesn't
don't want
make
to be
any
in any
difference.
because I do. So we know what we're getting. One of the things we're coming up against.
Get off.
Hagen will
Okay.
say, guys, you're welcome to go back to the inn and discuss this amongst yourselves, where you're going to get us to drop you off tomorrow. We don't really care. You have your arguments, and then you tell us where we're going to drop you off, and we'll drop
It's
you.
a democracy. This is a discussion.
And
No problem.
we will pick you up
Thank you for the
where
use
you
of
want
your
us to
telescope.
pick you up. No problem.
Thank you. And don't even look. I just put it in my pocket.
He keeps He keeps staring at you. He says, "If you want a spyglass, I've got a few cheap leather ones you
This
can
is
have.
fine. This is good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll have my
appreciate
spyglass
it.
back now, please. Thank you."
Give it back to him, Emrys.
What's
He's
spyglass?
just sat there waiting, looking at you.
What's the matter with
Remember,
this?
you're talking about that sniper rifle dot on your face.
You do realize that, like, there's no way for you to get from this ship back
No,
to
no,
shore.
no. I'm just being blasé about it.
No,
What can I
he's
say?
just
I mean,
wait. He's just looking at you, going,
obviously,
"My spyglass," and he'll say, "If
I'm
you
quite happy-
want a spyglass, he's got some leather ones. It's not a problem." If you're not sure what a spyglass is, the thing you just put in your pocket.
Is it the rolled leather one with the two lenses?
He's just waiting for his spyglass back.
Oh, asking a question. Is it the rolled leather and two lenses, or is it actual classic 3 pull-out?
He might have a collection, because you would have thought, him being a sailor for such a long time, he probably has a collection of spyglasses.
Yeah,
But
I
he
bet
might
this
be
is the
willing to
best
sell.
one.
Well, exactly. That's why he's just waiting for you to give it back.
That's why he's got tears in his eyes.
That's why. No, he's not got tears. He's just.
He's not got
quite
tears in his eyes because
calmly
he's
waiting.
got us banged to rights.
Exactly. There's nothing much to really he's
He's
caring
just
about
gonna
right
kill
now.
you and take it off your corpse.
So he's
Yes.
just sat there waiting.
Well, my corpse will go into that gem. And meanwhile, what's in this gem, we'll go out and have a chat with him.
You actually have to
it
use
might
the
be-
gem.
It might be
Give
so
him
well.
back
No,
goddamn telescope.
I'm not thinking about it. There's a nice thing that could love to suck a little of his life. But no, sorry, I digress. Yes. Oh, this spyglass. Yes, if you have another, I would buy.
I have a few. I could be
This
interested
is your
in trading.
favorite. I take it.
That is mine, yes. I have a few others which are in my collection. I
Anything
could be
particularly
interested
good
in
about-
parting with some of them.
What draws you to this one particular? Is there any writings on it, Tony? Anything unusual
No,
about
it's
it?
just well made.
Is it attuned? Is it?
It's
So it's
just-
not magical. It's
No,
just
it's
lovely.
just really nice.
Fine. Happy to return it and get if he has another. Then excellent.
Well, let's get back home. Let's back to the inn.
He
Get
will.
sorted, get kitted.
Yeah. He will spend a few minutes while you're all wanting to leave, just showing Emrys a collection of spyglasses that he
I am
has.
very interested in fairness. I am very
and we can
interested.
discuss
just
that.
Check if he's got some books, but we'll do that.
We'll discuss that, yeah, out the character,
Move
which
on,
spyglass.
moving on.
But yes, when you're ready to leave, he will wish you all a good day, and he will let you have the map and take it with you. You will go back into the rowboat. They'll take you back to the wharf, let you off, and you can head your way back to the inn. None of the guards, well, they actually, the group of 6 guards will ever come back with you because they're going to go and pick up somebody else to go and talk to Hagen.
You know, you said it's a dance. I think you're definitely dancing to a different tune.
That's always the best way.
I don't think it was in this situation.
Oh, I do. We end up with what we need and find out more about what we need to know. Days are short, my friends.
So
Days are short.
just to cut in shortly now before I end the episode and pause and all that stuff. If you want to make a decision now of where you're going to go, then we can let you do that and then end the episode. Or you can make the decision at the beginning of the next episode and actually then land on the beach. So
I'm happy to actually get some adventuring done.
yeah.
For 3 weeks, 3 sessions, we've done nothing but
Okay.
sit and chat about slaves.
So you want to get onto the beach now, yeah?
Yep.
Right, okay.
I'm happy to go to this beach here.
Yep.
I'm happy to go up to there. I'm happy to go here.
Yep.
I'm even happy to go here.
Yep.
Because, gotta be honest, it'll be interesting no matter where we go.
Yes.
Oh, I
It's
do
just
like
doing
the idea of the long sands, Traith.
He just wants to. Traith just wants to go past the vineyard.
So do
No,
I.
Traith wants to go through the blood
Yeah,
grass because
I
there's little
heard.
bitey
No,
lizard people there.
No.
No.
Bitey lizard
No,
companions.
Right, see, I was there prepared to open it because I thought you wanted to look some herbs. You want to run through the blood grass? No, we're not going that way because that's just
Nah.
wrong. Okay, so we'll go up there like we suggested. We're going to go up there. I'm not saying we won't come back that way, but
No fun.
Hang on,
behave
we
yourself.
there as well.
I would suspect this side of the inlet will probably be easier.
Will you stop not wanting to go up the inlet?
No,
Okay,
I don't want to
we
go
need to
anywhere
go
that
up
has
the
us
inlet.
surrounded. I don't want to go
and
anywhere that has us
see
surrounded on two
what is
sides
there.
whilst in a boat.
Yeah,
Have you
while we
seen
have
Have
12
you seen Apocalypse
people.
Now?
It's not going to make
We've
any
got
difference
12
whatsoever.
people. You've got 12 people in red shirts.
Yeah, but one
Trust me,
boat in the
it'll be
water
fine.
still means we have to swim up the inlet.
There's no swimming
Let's
involved.
go. Let's
This
go
is-
to
this
there
is- this
and
is
make it on
roll-
land.
This is fine. It's just an inlet, and it's got a
Yeah, but
12-man rowing boat with shields
Still,
to help
it's
us.
still one boat. One
Yeah.
boat. One boat, one hull between us and the water.
If you wanted to see what's in the forest, if we get off there, we can walk up through the forest.
Well, we don't even need to go through the forest. If there's a pathway through the cleared
If
area.
if there is, but
Yeah, no, don't take that as red.
exactly. This
On the
is a
water,
representation.
there's a lot less. There's a lot less.
I'm a
can
lot
be
less
done to us
worried
sailing
about
up
being in
there.
the forest than I am about being on the water, Emrys.
That all depends
Do
on
a
what's
hell
in
of
the
a lot more in a
forest.
forest than I can do on the water.
Why are you so interested in the
Ah.
forest?
He's a druid. It's a thing.
No, not him. You.
No, I'm interested in making sure that we can go up there because if anything then attacks us from either side of that, that immediately gives us a heads up on what to expect.
Yes, but
Nothing happens
We'll
as we
still
go
have
to
been
there.
attacked.
yeah, we don't want
can't
to
defend or
encourage
protect
them.
ourselves.
Yeah, we don't want to be encouraged. I don't mean
Whereas on the ground, we can protect and defend
Well, what?
ourselves.
So they land and leave us there to die like dogs? On... Don't forget now,
that was
people have already died doing this. So let us hedge our bets, cut the distance we need to walk, and then once we are in position to do that, I
Fine.
think it'd be better.
beach
for
here.
us.
Well,
Beach here
No,
or beach here.
no.
I'm going to chime in
No.
on this.
Go for it. Go for it, Riv.
Go for it, Riv. Let's have another voice.
Can you beach there? Because I'm quite happy to beach there.
Well, that's actually not a bad idea. If we can get there. Well, all I was going to say is, even if we cut having to go near any of the woods by here, we're still
We
going
still got to go through the woods
here
here and the tomb.
through there and through here on the way back to make a point.
Correct.
the
Well,
dead man's point.
And
We
I
don't
don't like
have
to.
to
I
anyway.
don't like to metagame, but I don't think Tony's going to stop us from getting to the old tomb.
Well, maybe he'll stop Emrys because of the argument.
Maybe.
hang on. All I want to do is land.
Yeah.
Somebody else didn't want to land.
We land
Wants to go as far away as possible. I wanted to get there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Just saying, not wanted to metagame
Yes,
or
Riv.
anything.
Yes, Riv.
So do you? Okay, if you want to get there as quick as possible, we land here and run.
What did Riv? Hang on. What did Riv
Well-
want to say?
I was asking Tony if we can land where I'm currently pinging.
It's actually on the bad side rather
Yeah,
than where there's
bad side of
concerned.
the-
But I mean, they could do. It's just your pickup from there is going to be
Oh, really,
hard
like-
because they will wait for the best moment to land there. Is where obviously rescuing from there might not be possible because of the swell. But a land there, they could probably hang around for the best tide.
The advantage then to land in here is that we go there and we'll find out whether we could get there easy enough. In which case, we'll be happier leaving that way.